Happy to see you all. Share and subscribe our channel. Today we are going to see about human physiology. In that we are going to see about the digestion of food in intestine. So in digestion there are different types of food, we know that: carbohydrate, protein and lipid. Let us see one by one how these food substances are digested inside the intestine. First, it is protein. Proteins like proteins, proteases and peptones all are hydrolyzed into the simpler form dipeptides, and this is activated, or this process is occurring by the enzyme like trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase. These dipeptides are actually partially hydrolyzed proteins, and in the intestine they are moving along with the chyme into the small intestine from the stomach. In the intestine it is digested. How these proteins are getting converted into dipeptides? So proteins, peptones and proteases, by the action of trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase, they are hydrolyzed into simpler form dipeptides. These dipeptides will be further hydrolyzed by other enzymes that is present in the small intestine. So next, digestion of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the starch item or the plant products which are giving immediate energy for the body cells. So carbohydrates that is present in the chyme are hydrolyzed by the pancreatic enzymes, or the enzyme that is present in the pancreas. These enzymes are hydrolyzing the carbohydrates into disaccharides. So polysaccharides like starch, by the activity of amylase, they are converted into disaccharides. The fat is also digested in the intestine. First of all, the fat is made into smaller globules, we call it as micelles. These micelles are hydrolyzed. These micelles are digested by the enzyme called as lipases. So fat acted upon by lipases and they are converted into diglycerides. Further on diglycerides, lipases are acting and they are converting them into monoglyceride, so by which the fat is digested. So then the protein dipeptides further need to be broken into simpler form, that is nucleic acid, and some nucleic acids are also there, they also need to be digested. So the enzyme for digesting nucleic acids are nucleases. These nucleases are present in the pancreatic juice. They act upon this nucleic acid to form nucleotides and nucleosides. Nucleases of the pancreatic juice are converting the nucleic acid into nucleotides and nucleosides. So by this the nucleic acid is digested. Then enzymes of the intestine, that is succus entericus. The intestinal juice can also be called as succus entericus. The succus entericus act on the end products of all the above reactions what we said. So it is acting upon the protein dipeptides and then carbohydrate disaccharides and the monoglycerides or diglycerides. This digestion process is occurring very close to the intestinal wall where the villi are present, so that easy absorption is possible. The final step of digestion in intestine by succus entericus, we'll see one by one. First one is dipeptides. So first one is dipeptides is converted into amino acids by the enzyme dipeptidases. Then maltose, it is a disaccharide acted upon by maltase, is converted into glucose and glucose. So the monomers of maltose are glucose and glucose. Then the lactose that is present in the milk, which is acted upon by lactase, is converting into glucose and galactose. So lactose is converted into glucose and galactose by the enzyme lactase. The next one is sucrose, cane sugar. It is present in the cane sugar. It is acted upon by sucrase, is converting sucrose into glucose and fructose. So these three are the carbohydrates or disaccharides which are converted into their monomers. Then the nucleotides. So nucleotidases acting on nucleotides and converting them into nucleosides. Again, these nucleosidases are acting upon and they are converting them into sugar and bases. So di and monoglycerides are acted upon by lipases. Further it is converted into fatty acids and glycerol. The breaking up of the food substances like carbohydrate, protein and fat are occurring at the duodenal region, and these broken food substances then passed on to the next region of the small intestine, that is jejunum and ileum, where the digested food is being absorbed. The undigested and unabsorbed food are passed on to the next region of the alimentary canal, that is large intestine. The undigested and the unabsorbed food substances that is passed after absorption from the small intestine, we call it as feces, which is entering from the small intestine into the large intestine. At a site we call it as ileocecum. At the ileocecum there is a wall, we call it as ileocecal wall, which prevents the backflow of these feces that has entered into the large intestine. The feces that is entered into the large intestine, where large amount of water will be absorbed, are moved along the large intestine and reaches the last part of the large intestine, we call it as rectum. This rectum is acting as the storage place for the feces. That's all. We can see the control and regulation of digestion in the next class.